The purpose of this training is to highlight the differences between 25 Live and 25 Live Pro. So 25 Live as we know it, which we'll call Classic for the purposes of this training, is on the left, and 25 Live Pro is on the right. 25 Live Pro is available and able to use now if you like, or you can wait. The cutover date is going to be November 5th of 2019. So the first thing you'll notice between the two, 25 Live Pro does not have the tabular setup. Some of the color scheme has changed. The boxes are still there. The color shading of the boxes has moved to the left. You can move the boxes. You can expand and collapse them in the same way that you can in Classic. You will do the same things in Pro. It's just the navigation and the paths are a bit different. Pro is a complete reboot. It is faster and there is new functionality, some of which we'll touch on right now and some of which we will be announcing more about before the November 5th cutover date. So let's move across the top here. 25 Live Pro link at the top. This is like your home tab. The Event Wizard is like the Event Wizard tab in Classic. The tasks is like the task tab. Over on the right here, we have a more button. And underneath more is where you're going to find that calendar and availability view. So for those of you that like to use the availability grid for your classrooms or your rooms that you manage, you will find that here under the more button. It will remember it if this is the place that you always go to. Your searching and reporting are here, and also a link to 25 Live scheduling, which I'll click on now. 25 Live scheduling is what was formerly called the mobile version, and it's where we're going to direct all event submitters. So people who just request events will be directed to 25 Live scheduling. It is a slim version. We have a 4-minute training that's available, which you can share with anyone from your department. It's going to make it a lot easier and quicker for them to request spaces. Those of us who manage locations and resources will use 25 Live Pro to do so. Below that, we have the Go to Search button. So Go to Search combines all the searching that we did in 25 Live Classic under the Search for Locations, Predefined and Advanced. This is all combined into one page here. So you select your object, then all of your searches are populated to the right, plus the public searches. Down here is your keyword and your more options. You can also switch over to advanced and add criteria to build a saved search, just like you would in Classic, but all on the same page here. One other navigational difference, the back button in the browser is fine to use in Pro. So if you're used to using back buttons in browsing, you can use that. Everything that you've done in this web session will still be there. So just like you could work within different tabs in Classic, you can still do that in Pro, and it's going to remember what you have loaded. We'll show you that here in just a second. So under recently viewed, this is going to have everything that you've done in this session as well, including events, locations, resources, anything you've viewed you can get to through recently viewed. Below that, let's take a look at the create an event. So just like create an event in 25 Live Classic, this is going to load the Event Wizard. And you will notice this try new event form. So that is a new Event Wizard. We're going to learn more about this as the system continues to upgrade and update before the 11.5 cutover. The first thing that you'll notice in this new wizard is that it is linear. It is not a page-by-page wizard. So some people really like that better. You are welcome to use it. You still have to populate the same information, but you can scroll down to do it instead of paging over to the right. Just like in Classic, you can load up events in here, and they will stay here until you either finish them or close them out. So if I leave here and I go back to the home and I do something else and then I go back to my event form, that event is still going to be there. If I have a room loaded in there for a certain date and time, it's still going to be holding it as a pending request until I either save it or close it out. Once you close them all out, it will take you back to the home screen. Those will also be closed out if you completely leave the system and close your browser. So next thing we'll take a look at is the events. So an event view has changed. If I click on the same event in 25 Live Classic, I'm on the Details tab. You can see here the details are above, the tabs are in the middle. One big change in Pro is that you can change more things without hitting Edit this event. So we can now change the event type. This is a big change from Classic because you couldn't change the event type ever. We can now do it right here with a drop down. This will be for people with editing privileges over the events. If you don't have those privileges, you can't do it. You can change the organization. You could change the expected attendance, all without locking the event by editing it. You can attach the files. You can change categories, add them, change the answers to the questions, add in additional questions, all right here from this page. So really good changes from the event details in terms of working with the events and modifying them without having to edit the event and lock it. So I'm going to go back to the home screen. If we look at the locations page, pretty similar to the locations page in Classic. The list, the details, the availability, etc. Same things here. If I go back home, the next thing we want to look at is tasks. So tasks you can hit from the top or from the middle like you did in Classic. When I get to the tasks page, I'm going to see the outstanding tasks right away. Same thing, I can click approve or deny here, but we will always recommend actually looking at the event to see what's going on. One major difference in Pro that is really going to be helpful, when you go to the task list, it is automatically going to show you all assigned tasks. Whereas in Classic, you had to flip this from only tasks assigned to you to all assigned tasks. In Pro, you're going to see that. So right away, you'll be able to see if there's another room or another resource that's required for this event besides yours. So what you'll know if it's going to be turned into confirmed or tentative after you process your part of the equation. So that's a major difference there with the event view and the tasks. Let's go back to home. We've covered pretty much everything here except reporting. Again, reporting is going to be found under your More button up top on the right, but it is basically the same exact as it was in 25 Live Classic, except the good news is that it runs faster in Pro, and you can return bigger data sets and return them faster. So feel free to test that out and try reporting in 25 Live Pro. Those are the major differences to highlight for now. More to follow on future additions and future functionality to come before the cutover date, which again is November 5th, 2019.